Once upon a time, in a faraway village, there lived an old man named Obi. Obi was not rich, but he had a very beautiful and happy family. He was a hardworking farmer, but he didn't own a farm of his own. Instead, he worked on other people's farms. Obi made sure his wife and children were always content, even though they didn't have much. Obi's wife, Amara, was beautiful and worked as a trader in the market, selling vegetables and fruits. Every morning, she prepared her goods with a smile and went to the market to support the family. Obi and his wife had three children, two sons and a pretty daughter. They were all happy and loved each other deeply. Though they didn't have much money, their home was filled with love and joy. In the evenings, after a long day's work, Obi would come home, tired but content. His wife welcomed him with a warm meal, and the children ran to hug him. They would sit together, laugh, and share stories. Obi's life was simple, filled with love and happiness, showing that true wealth is measured by the joy shared with those you care about. Obi had many friends in the village, but they were all wealthier than he was. As time went on, those friends began to drift away because Obi was not as rich as they were. They didn't want to be seen with someone who was so poor. Obi felt sad, but he always told himself, "My family is what matters most." One day, there was a big gathering in the village. Obi decided to go, hoping to enjoy some time with his old friends. When he arrived, he saw his friends laughing, eating, and drinking together. They seemed happy to see him at first. Obi sat down and shared a meal with his friends. But after they finished eating, something happened that made Obi feel very sad. One of his friends stood up and said, "Obi, since you're not as rich as us, you should pack the plates." Obi was shocked. He said, "We are all friends, and I'm older than all of you. Just because I don't have as much money doesn't mean you can treat me this way. Everyone should pack their own plate." But his friends laughed and said, "If you don't pack the plates, we'll tell the seller that you haven't paid. That would be even more embarrassing for you." Obi had no choice. He packed the plates and left the gathering feeling very sad and humiliated. He walked home slowly, thinking about how unfairly he had been treated. When he got home, his wife noticed he was unhappy and asked, "Obi, what happened?" Obi sighed and replied, "My friends treated me badly today because I am not as rich as they are. But it doesn't matter. I will always do my best for you and our children." Obi continued to work hard every day, despite the way his friends treated him. He knew his family needed him, and he was determined to make sure they were always happy and taken care of. Even though he was sad, his love for his family kept him strong. Obi was known in the village for his hard work. He worked on many different farms, but never had a farm of his own. He would spend long hours under the hot sun, planting and harvesting crops. Sometimes, the people he worked for would not pay him right away. They would say, "Come back tomorrow, Obi." But when he returned, they still would not pay him. Obi's friends, who were wealthier, often took advantage of him. They would ask him to do menial and degrading tasks, like washing their clothes or cleaning their houses. One day, Obi asked a friend for some money to buy food for his family. His friend laughed and said, "If you want money, you must clean my house and wash my clothes." Obi felt humiliated, but agreed because he needed the money to feed his family. He spent the whole day cleaning and washing, and by the time he was done, he was exhausted. His friend gave him a small amount of money, barely enough. Obi was paid less, than what he had earned, but he took it without complaining. Another time, he worked on a friend's farm from sunrise to sunset, who worked tirelessly, but when it was time to get paid, his friend said, "I don't have the money right now. Come back next week." Obi felt frustrated, but he had no choice. He needed the work to support his family. Despite all the unfair treatment and hard labor, Obi never gave up. He would wake up early every day and go to work, no matter how tired he was. He knew his family depended on him. He wanted to make sure his family always had enough to eat and a roof over their heads. When harvest season arrived, Obi knew it was a chance to earn some decent money. He decided to approach Chief Azuka, the richest man in the village, who owned the largest farm. Obi hoped that working for Chief Azuka would help him provide better for his wife and children. Early one morning, Obi went to the chief's house and greeted him respectfully. "Good morning, Chief Azuka. I would like to help with the harvest on your farm. My 2 sons can help too," Obi said. Chief Azuka looked at him and nodded. "Very well, Obi. My farm is large, and I need all the help I can get. You can start tomorrow." The next day, Obi and his 2 sons woke before the sun rose. They made their way to Chief Azuka's farm and began working tirelessly. They labored under the hot sun, picking crops and placing them in large sacks. Even when heavy rain fell, they didn't stop. They were determined to finish the harvest on time. Obi's sons were strong and hardworking, just like their father. Together, they made a great team. Day after day, they labored on Chief Azuka's farm, their hands rough and backs aching, but they never complained. They knew their hard work would bring food and joy to their home. Finally, after many long days, the harvest was complete. The crops were packed neatly in sacks and stored in the barn. Obi felt a sense of pride and relief. He wiped the sweat from his brow and turned to his sons. "We did it. Now let's go get our payment from Chief Azuka." Obi approached Chief Azuka and said, "Chief, we've finished the harvest. Can we please receive our payment?" The chief nodded and handed Obi some money. "Here is 1/3 of what I owe you. Come back tomorrow for the rest," Chief Azuka said. Obi was surprised. Chief Azuka had never delayed payment before. Still, he took the money and thanked him. When Obi got home, he gave some to his wife and said, "Cook a delicious meal for the children tonight. They deserve it." That night, Obi's wife noticed he couldn't sleep. She turned to him and asked, "Obi, why are you so moody? Did something happen at Chief Azuka's farm?" Obi sighed and replied, "Chief Azuka didn't pay me fully. He told me to come back tomorrow. I'm worried. He's never done that before." His wife hugged him gently and said, "Don't worry, Obi. You've worked hard, and everything will be fine. Let's enjoy our meal with the children tonight." Obi nodded and tried to push his worries aside. He knew he had to return to the chief's house the next day. The following day, Obi returned to Chief Azuka's grand house to collect the remaining payment. As he approached, he felt a mix of hope and concern. He needed the money but was uneasy about the chief's strange delay. Chief Azuka welcomed him warmly. "Ah, Obi, welcome back. Come, sit with me. Let us share food and drink," the chief said, gesturing to a table filled with delicious dishes. Obi hesitated, but eventually sat down. The hospitality felt strange, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. After they ate, Chief Azuka leaned back and said, "Obi, you've worked hard all your life. You deserve more than just a few coins for your labor. I have an opportunity for you to become wealthy without all this struggle. You just have to visit my old friend at the edge of the forest. Obi was stunned. Chief Azuka, what do you mean? How can I become rich without working hard? The chief smiled and replied, there is a way, Obi. A small ritual. No bloodshed. You're growing old. Soon, you won't be able to work like this. Think about it. I don't know, Chief Azuka. This sounds risky. What kind of ritual is this? Obi asked, his voice filled with uncertainty. Chief Azuka reached into his robe and pulled out a large bundle of money. He handed it to Obi and said, here, take this. It is 10 times the amount I owe you. Think of it as a gift, a small taste of what you could have. Take your time to decide. There is no rush. Obi's eyes widened at the sight. He had never seen so much money in his life. With trembling hands, he took the bundle and whispered, thank you, Chief Azuka. I'll think about your offer and let you know my decision. As Obi walked home, his mind was filled with conflicting thoughts. The money in his hand felt heavy, and the offer even heavier on his heart. When he arrived home, his wife's eyes widened in surprise at the sight of the bundle. Obi, where did you get all this money? She asked. He sighed and explained everything. Chief Azuka gave me this and made me an offer for easy riches. He said it involves a ritual, but no bloodshed. I don't know what to do. It's so much money, and it could change our lives. His wife listened quietly, concern written all over her face. Obi, this offer sounds too good to be true. We have always lived honestly and worked hard for what we have. Be very careful. Easy riches can bring great trouble. Obi nodded slowly. You're right. I'll think about it carefully. We must not rush into anything that could harm our family. That night, Obi lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The money was hidden safely, but his thoughts were far from calm. The promise of easy wealth was tempting, but the unknown risks kept gnawing at him. He spent the next few days wrestling with the offer. The bundle was a constant reminder of what could be. He thought of his children's future, the endless struggles they had faced. The thought of an easier life was hard to resist. One evening, as the sun sank low, Obi made his decision. I will go to the forest's edge tomorrow, he told his wife. I will meet the old man and do the ritual. She looked at him with worried eyes, but nodded slowly. Obi, please be careful. Our family's happiness means more than wealth. Promise me you'll come back safe. He hugged her tightly. I promise. This is for our future. The next day, Obi made his way to the forest's edge. The trees were dark and thick, whispering secrets in the wind. His heart pounded as he approached the old man's hut. The old man, with a long white beard and wise eyes, greeted him. Ah, Obi, Chief Azuka told me you would come. Are you ready for the ritual? Obi nodded, his voice trembling. Yes, I am ready. The old man led him to a clearing, where a circle of stones surrounded symbols drawn on the earth. He began to chant, low and rhythmic, filling the air with an eerie energy. Obi stood inside the circle, heart pounding, a mix of fear and anticipation filling him. The old man approached with a small bowl of dark oil. This ritual will grant you wealth without bloodshed. Rub this oil on your body, and the gods will bless you. With trembling hands, Obi applied the oil to his skin. The warmth spread quickly through his body. The old man placed his hands on Obi's head and spoke. You have been chosen. The gods will grant you riches. But remember, there is always a price to pay. Be wise. Use your wealth for good. The ritual ended. The old man handed Obi a small pouch filled with gold coins. This is just the beginning. More will come. Go now and take care of your family. Obi thanked the old man and returned home. His wife and children waited anxiously. When he showed them the
Wow.
pouch, their eyes widened. Obi, is this real? His wife asked, holding a gold coin. Yes, he said with a tight hug. The gods have blessed us. Our lives will change for the better. That night, they celebrated, hope and joy filling their hearts. Obi felt a strange relief. He believed the dark decision he had made would finally bring happiness to his family. But little did he know, the true cost of his choice was yet to come. Dreams, gold coins, fine clothes, and beautiful ornaments now adorned their once simple abode. Obi, who had always been seen as the poorest man in the village, was now one of the wealthiest. The villagers were astonished. Everywhere Obi went, people would stop and stare, whispering among themselves about his sudden fortune. How did Obi become so rich overnight? They wondered. Some speculated he had found a hidden treasure. Others believed he had been blessed by the gods. Obi's friends, who had once shunned him because of his poverty, now flocked to his side, eager to bask in the glow of his newfound wealth. They praised him, invited him to their homes, and treated him with the respect they had once denied him. But Obi remembered how they had treated him before and was cautious in his dealings with them. At home, Obi's family rejoiced in their new lifestyle. His children wore fine clothes and had plenty to eat. They could now afford things they had only dreamed of. His wife, however, felt a mix of joy and unease. She loved seeing the children smile, but the mysterious source of the wealth made her heart heavy. One evening, as they sat together in their newly furnished living room, she turned to him and said, Obi, I am happy we have all these things now, but I'm worried. How did this happen so fast? Where did all this money come from? Obi took her hand and looked into her eyes. The gods have blessed us, my love. They saw our suffering and decided to reward us. I made a promise, and they have kept theirs. You don't need to worry. His wife sighed, still feeling a shadow of doubt. I trust you, Obi, but please, be careful. Sometimes, great wealth brings great trouble. Obi nodded, understanding her concern. I promise. I will always protect our family. We've suffered long enough. It's time we enjoyed the blessings. As days turned to weeks, Obi's wealth continued to grow. He bought land, more livestock, and even started his own farm. The villagers' curiosity deepened, but Obi kept the secret of his riches locked away. Despite their new luxurious life, Obi's wife noticed changes. Her husband seemed more distant at times, his eyes clouded with thought. She sensed that something weighed heavily on him. Still, the family enjoyed their prosperity. The village buzzed with stories about Obi's transformation, but a true test of his choices and the price of his wealth was still to come. As Obi's wealth grew, his old friends began to return. Those who had once abandoned him now came knocking, drawn by the sense of riches. Every day, they visited Obi's home, showering him with praise and asking about his sudden success. One afternoon, as Obi relaxed in his grand living room, a group of them arrived, bearing gifts and exaggerated smiles. Obi, old friend, one of them said, we are so proud of you. You've achieved so much in such a short time. Please, tell us your secret. How did you become so rich? Obi smiled politely, though he felt a pang of unease. I've been blessed by the gods, he replied. They saw my hard work and rewarded me. His friends exchanged skeptical glances. One leaned closer and said, come now, Obi. We're your friends. You can trust us. There must be more to it than divine blessings. Obi maintained his calm. It's the truth. The gods have been kind. I cannot explain it any other way. His friends grew persistent. They visited regularly, flattering him, bringing gifts, and even offering to share their own wealth if he'd reveal his secret. Think of how much more we could achieve together, one suggested. If you share your secret, we can all be wealthy and powerful. But Obi remained firm. I appreciate your offers, my friends, but I must decline. I cannot share what is not mine to give. Their frustration grew. Slowly they began to distance themselves once more. Whispers spread. Rumors crept through the village like a shadow. Some claimed Obi had made a deal with dark forces. Others said he had sacrificed something dear. Obi felt the strain of the suspicion. The secret burdened him more with each passing day. Despite the riches, he often found himself longing for the simple, honest life he once had, even if it came with poverty. One evening, as he sat beside his wife, she gently asked, Obi, what's troubling you? I see the worry in your eyes. He sighed deeply. Our friends, they keep asking about the wealth, over and over again. I fear their curiosity might lead to something dangerous. His wife rested her head on his shoulder. Then let us protect what we have quietly. Not everything needs to be explained to others. Just hold your family close, Obi. Whatever this is, we are in it together. Our wealth, they don't believe it's just the God's blessings. I can't tell them the truth. But their questions never stop, Obi whispered, his voice heavy with anxiety. His wife gently squeezed his hand. We must stay strong, Obi. We have each other, and that is what matters most. Let them talk. As long as we know the truth, we can face anything. Obi nodded, deeply grateful for her support. He knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but he was determined to protect his family and the secret behind their wealth. The return of his old friends reminded him that true loyalty and love could never be bought. His family's bond was the only wealth he truly cherished. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a messenger arrived at Obi's compound. His message was brief and chilling. The old man from the forest has summoned you. A cold shiver ran down Obi's spine. He knew what this meant, a demand. The next morning, Obi made his way to the edge of the forest. His heart pounded with each step, dread clawing at his insides. When he reached the old man's hut, the mysterious figure was already waiting, his face grave. Obi, the old man said, his voice as ancient as the trees around them. The time has come to fulfill your part of the bargain. The gods demand a sacrifice. Obi's heart sank. What kind of sacrifice? He asked, his voice trembling. The old man's eyes narrowed. Your only daughter, Amina, you must sacrifice her to the gods. It is the price for your wealth. Obi staggered back, his mind reeling. No, not Amina. She is my only daughter. I can't do this. If you refuse, the old man said coldly, you will lose everything. Your wealth, your sanity, even your life. Obi returned home, his mind spiraling with fear and despair. He couldn't bring himself to tell his wife. The thought was unbearable. That night, he didn't sleep. The old man's words haunted him. Sacrifice Amina. But how? She was the light of his life. During the day, he watched her laugh and play. Every giggle tore at his heart. She's my only daughter, he whispered. But then, the old man's voice echoed again. 7 days, or the gods will take her themselves. He tried to convince himself. I still have 2 sons. They can carry on the family name. His wife noticed his strange behavior. Obi, what's wrong? She asked. He shook his head. Everything is fine. By the fifth day, with his heart breaking, Obi made the decision. He couldn't risk losing everything. Maybe this one act would protect the rest of his family. But inside, he was falling apart. That night, he prepared the ritual drink and the black oil the old man had instructed. His hands trembled. He found Amina playing in the yard. Amina, come here, my dear, he said gently. She ran to him, smiling. Drink this, he whispered, handing her the potion. And use this oil. It's very important. She hesitated, but nodded. Okay, father. She trusted him. She drank. She collapsed. Obi caught her and carried her toward the forest, each step heavier than the last. Obi reached the clearing. He laid Amina down gently on the prepared spot. Her face was peaceful, unaware of what was about to happen. Tears streamed down Obi's face as he lifted the mortar the old man had given him. I'm so sorry, Amina, he choked. But just as he raised his hands, a piercing scream shattered the silence. Obi! No! It was his wife. She had followed him. Her voice rang with panic. Within moments, villagers, awakened by her screams, rushed to the clearing with torches. They restrained Obi and took Amina into protective arms. What have you done? His wife sobbed, cradling Amina. Amina was rushed to the herbalist. Obi was bound and tied in his compound, guarded all night. At dawn, the villagers gathered in anger. Amina must be saved. She must go before the king. Obi was brought before the king, shame written all over him. Is this true? The king demanded. Obi fell to his knees. Yes, my king, I was manipulated by Chief Azuka. He promised me wealth. I didn't know it would cost this much. The king's eyes burned with fury. Where is Chief Azuka? But the guards found nothing. Chief Azuka had fled. You committed a grave sin, the king declared. But your daughter lives, thanks to your wife. Your punishment will be severe, but your life will be spared. You will spend the rest of your days in prison. Your family may visit, but you will work every day to atone. Obi bowed his head. Thank you, my king, he whispered, broken. The villagers dispersed, hearts heavy. Obi's wife stayed beside Amina at the herbalist's hut. Slowly, Amina recovered. The family would never be the same, but she clung to hope. Obi was led away to prison. As he sat behind bars, regret consumed him. He had lost everything, chasing a lie. He prayed that one day his family would forgive him. His story spread through the village as a warning. Greed can cost more than gold. Though he remained imprisoned, his heart found some peace. His family lived, and maybe one day they would heal.
I hope you enjoyed this story. If it touched your heart, please like the video, share what you learned from Obi's journey, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos on timeless tales. Thank you for watching.